Four, three, two, one. Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox on my Series X. And this is something that I've been looking at for a while. People always ask me how many thrusters it requires to lift a ship. Usually these are hydrogen and atmospheric in atmosphere. But a lot of people don't realize that you can actually get a ship like this little fellow here to go into space by using ion engines. Now, ion engines put out a very small amount of thrust in atmosphere and gravity. And in a one gravity like this planet, the Earth-like, a ship like this, which weighs over 77,000 kilograms, can actually leave planet gravity and get out there. How? Well, I'm going to link in the description to the GitHub version of a thrust calculator. It's a very simple program, very easy, and it's all online, so you can do it from any browser or your phone. But really, what we have here is my Sand Scout. You recognize it from over here. It has 2 batteries and so on. You saw me build it. It's in a tutorial. And then you have this version with 4 batteries and a bunch of ion thrusters. These are large ion thrusters, or small grid large, as we like to say. And you'll see that I have 6 at the back, 8 providing lift, 1 either side to move the ship from side to side, and a couple to stop it. I've also got a bunch of atmospheric thrusters on here as well, since this is an Atmo ship. Before we head off into the sky, I wanted to show you this. Do you remember that mod? These right here. Window wall mod. Well, this is what happens when someone on my channel asks me if you can make an elevator using the window walls. And the answer is yes, you can. If you're interested in this elevator, I'll show you in another video how to make one like it. But here is my little Sand Scout. Now what I've done here is I have put the ions on their own separate override. As you can see, these are only ions. The atmospherics are off. So this lift is purely ion. And the ship, if you put the weight in exactly as the ship is, you will get the amount of ion thrusters required to provide lift in atmosphere. In the case of this weight, you're looking at about 4, so I've doubled it to 8. But if you want to go to space, what you want to do is put your ions, it'll settle down in a second, using just a bit more power than I'd like. can. See, however, that this is providing lift. And we are going fast enough with enough speed to punch through the handy-dandy space between where ions are effective and where atmospheric engines fail. I could have used the Atmos to get up to a point and then switch to power, but the purpose of this particular demonstration, it doesn't really matter. You'll notice we're at 10,000 meters. When we get to roughly 20,000 meters, you'll notice that the ions become far more efficient. I think it's about 21,000 meters or something where they kick in properly and you can start using them. But these are just ions. There's nothing else sending the ship out of gravity into space. As I said, I'll link to the actual thrust calculator in the description of this video, but if you check my community tab anyway, you will see that I've linked to it already. And this is not so much a tutorial. This is probably going to go up on DWolfie1 Plays. I thought I'd throw this up this morning because I wanted to play around with it, but I also wanted to show you that it is possible to leave planetary gravity by just using ions, as long as you know how many ions and how heavy your ship is. Obviously, knowing how heavy the ship is determines on how many ions you're going to require. In terms of the large grid ones on a ship like this, like I said, you're probably looking at 4. I've gone to 8, but on the actual motive thrusters themselves, there's 6, and that's enough to push this ship into space. You'll probably notice that around 21, we're picking up a lot of speed now. Things are going much faster as things are moving on. You'll break gravity at about 41 or so thousand meters, so you'll leave the grav well. I could make things a bit more efficient by turning off these 2 thrusters ahead. I can actually put them on a group if I wanted. It's fairly easy to do. You just tap your inventory button and look at your ion engines in the search. We type ion, and what you want is you want to look at large ion thruster backward, large ion thruster backward, hold down the right bumper, press A. I've shown you how to do this before, but always use the left stick to move across the block group. And just name it something. Click save, hold down on the D-pad, go to your groups, look for what you named, and pop it on a group. So now, there we go. We are zooming off into space. And we've got the ion thrusters on thrust override as well, so we can actually bring down our speed if we wanted to. And just keep an eye on our power so we don't use as much. But if you notice now, the power's gone from 100% function since we're in the band where things allow ion engines to function properly. And it'll only get better as we break gravity. A few more 1,000 meters will break gravity. Actually, I'd say 2 to 3 more. You'll see when we do, because the altitude meter will disappear. Starting to see asteroids now. And I've tested the ship. You can actually return back to Earth, like there you go, at about 41,500 meters. We've broken gravity. And if you want to conserve your power even more, just point to a place you want to go, like this. And just hold down the left bumper, tap the Y button, turn your dampeners off, shut your ion engines off, or even turn these back on, then turn everything off, and you will coast to your destination. It'll take some time. I'm not going to do the whole trip. Get a bit more speed. Turn them off again. See, we are moving forwards. It just doesn't appear that fast. And that's it. That is how to leave Earth-like planets or planets with 1g as gravity using just ion engines. It is possible, and you can return the same way. A lot of fun to experiment with things like this, and if you use that thrust calculator properly, you can also work out exactly how many engines of each type you need on your ship, no matter how heavy it is. And of course, the more heavy the ship, the more thrusters you're going to need. 200,000 or 300,000 kilograms of ship can take a lot more large and even more regular to get the lift you require. And remember, that is an unladen ship. So when you go to the calculator, you can also put cargo in the containers as long as you work out exactly how heavy the ship is. My advice would be, though, whatever number it gives you, always put a few extra thrusters on, especially with ions. If you've got the resources, if you're playing in survival, if you're just messing about in creative, then go 1.5 times more. If it says 10, put 20. As long as you can support the power output, you can have fun with ion. There you go. That's it. Anyway, that's my little video. I will be around again tomorrow for the launch stream of Heavy Industry, or the live stream of Heavy Industry. And the moment that patch/update and DLC goes live, I will be there. I actually have a plan that when I've downloaded it and it's all running, I'm actually going to fire up Space Engineers, and I'm going to do a video / live broadcast of something that is coming as part of the heavy industry update. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm looking forward to sharing this particular part of the update with you and getting it up as soon as possible, because it's quite an important one. You could say it's a bit of a game changer. Don't get your hopes up, though. It's nothing to do with weapons or anything like that. It's something else. Anyway, that's a bit of a tease, and bye for now.